Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my series about basically my entire build history on Autcraft. And I apologize for it being a bit late. There's been a lot going on ACO and a lot of events, and that's kind of been taking up most of my time. But today I'm here to bring you, I guess this is going to be the bonus episode where I'm just going to go through all my set homes, like literally all my set homes on Autcraft, and basically we're going to see all the projects that I never finished, or probably well, a lot of these actually are other people's builds that I've just kind of set home there because I thought their builds were really cool, and of course I asked them before I did that, and they were okay with that. And of course, some of these I think were kind of projects me and Modkiller wanted to do, but we never got around to it. And yeah, and some of these are things that really have no reason to kind of be hanging on to, but I'm still hanging on to them because either they have sentimental value to me, or I just can't be bothered really to clean them up because I'm not really that active on Autcraft anymore, and I just can't really be bothered to put the time into removing these old builds. So yes, I'm about gonna bring you guys on for the ride. And as you can see, we have a lot of way too many stuff to go through. A lot of stuff to go through. I might have to split this into 2 videos, but we'll see. Pardon the cut, the server restarted, but anyway, we're going to go over all my set homes and perhaps some of my old builds on Autcraft. So I have so many homes that let's go through them in alphabetical order. So this, I'm pretty sure no longer exists. Yeah, but this used to be a auto smelter that Alyssa built, but of course she since tore it down most likely because of the lag concerns and well, it's not just concerns, it's like literally against the rules. So there's really not much to see here because it's really just an empty room. So pretty sure it's somebody else's build, but I set home data for some reason. I don't really remember why. I guess we're just gonna explore the area to see what's here. Maybe see if a memory comes back to me, or yeah, nothing's really coming to me, but it's kind of an interesting base. But I don't really see the need to keep this as a set home, so we'll just delete this. We can also delete that one. Pretty sure this one was a... This one was a blaze farm. And I don't really remember when I built this. I think it might have been actually... My memory's very rusty on this, but I think it might have been when I was in the 4th base, the 4 corners. That was probably when I built this. And, or it might have been the 5th base, but I'm pretty sure it was the 4th. And this was, my plan for this was I was going to convert it, and I was going to have this be an XP farm that was dual blaze spawners. And perhaps I could even use this farm now. It's just I'd have to... I'm pretty sure this design no longer works. So, although of course with how far apart they are, it would be a bit difficult to actually get them into one killing chamber. But of course I left all these chests still here. So I could complete this project, but I'm probably going to have to literally tear all this out and start fresh, because this blaze farm uses the mechanic of carrying the blazes in minecarts, and I think I actually copied from Ethos Let's Play. Like, I remember he kind of used this design in his blaze farm, and I don't remember what update it broke, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work now. So, I don't remember. Well, actually, I think I do remember. This is Cookie Crazy Dawn's base, or I guess CCD for short. And I can't seem to get out because this is protected. I'll always save the coordinates if I ever want to visit this area again, but I'm going to have to delete this one because I cannot... Of course, I'm basically trapped in here and I can't go anywhere. I probably should just leave this, though. I remember this area vaguely. This is actually the same biome that the Four Corners is in, but I kind of just went around exploring and I found this really cool cliff area, and I think one day I had a plan that I was going to somehow expand the base to this area and build an area in here, but I'm pretty sure Nin or Modcure might want to return to the space someday, and I think for that reason I'm going to keep this. Of course, I showed this in, I think, in the previous episode. This was like a countdown that I intended to have for New Year's Eve, and think it was 2017, but it never ended up being used. And actually, one of the ACO members actually found this build, and they posted it on the ACO Discord, which I thought was kind of funny. But again, I left a lot of stuff here, which I could reclaim if I ever want to come back to you either use this or want to get the resources to use for another build. I don't entirely remember what my plans were for what this area is. So of course, it's called Creeper Farm, so I think I might have had a plan for some kind of farm, but there was probably a spawner underneath here somewhere, but doesn't seem like much in this area. This was a build from kind of an older player that I once talked to, and of course this is an auto sorter, and apparently it still seems to be intact. At least this part of it's intact. Although it's definitely too big for the server rules, and yeah, but at least from what I can tell, I guess they're keeping it up for now, or nothing really has been planned for it yet. But yeah. So I think I set a home there because I found a spawner underground there, but I never ended up doing anything with that, but I think I'm just going to remove that. This was kind of a project I did with Mod Killer, and this was a 3-spawner Vindicator farm. But what happened with this was we built this farm, and then Mod Killer decided he still wanted to go kill spawner hunting, and he found this. If he found that the spawners we built in with for the 5-spawner Vindicator farm, and this kind of ended up being a second farm that. Well, his plan with it was that he would use it while I used the 5-spawner one, so we could both farm emeralds with 8 spawners at the same time. So, well, he's kind of with both farms compounded together would effectively be 8 spawners. So this is kind of a plan of. This was the plan that Mod Killer wanted us to build a second end base. Right, because he just liked the other project we did, and he wasn't really entirely happy with what Ninjago decided to do with the build, and for that reason he wanted to do another build. Pardon this. Because I rarely play here, people are like, "Ooh, Dusty." So there's not much to see here, but let's go on to the next builds or areas. I don't remember what was here, but from the name of the set home, I think we were designing an elevator, or somebody wanted to. And of course, this is another build here. Oh yeah, I think I may have remembered talking with that player before. But I don't think I need that set home anymore, so let's delete it. This is from one of my other videos. I mean, I probably eventually do need to tear down that farm, but I just can't really bring myself to do it because it would take like the amount of time I built it to tear it down, and probably half the time I took to build it to tear it down. And I mean, unless other players want to help me with it, then. But of course, it's protected, and I need other people added to the protection, and yeah. Oh, no, eventually, though, pretty soon, I want to actually take a schematic of this and put it on single player world, perhaps soon. And this was in one of the other videos. And I can probably see Nins probably block those off because there's redstone there. And yeah. I probably want to take another schematic of this base before anything gets taken out of it. So let's actually look at the base and see if what's changed. Well, I'm just curious. Yeah, nothing really, not much really. I'm not quite sure what this is about. Anyway, next. And this is one of our old Enderman farms. This is on another video, but we saw it already, so let's move on. And this was another villager trading area from another player. And from what I remember, someone showed me this, and I just decided to make a set home here. Just in case I ever wanted to use the villagers, but it's, of course, since the update, that kind of broke it. We'd have to put stations there, and yeah. So I don't really need that anymore, so let's delete it. And this is in the video about my 5th base. And this was an old Vindicator farm that Ninjago made. I don't think we need to keep it. And this was a flower farm that I was intending to make it because I was wanting to make fireworks, but from what I remember, I think I got it working, but I don't know what happened here. I think probably Nin or Modcore griefed this, or I don't know what happened. Though I'll probably remember this area so I can at least get the resources back. This was from one day when Modcure wanted to experiment with an idea to make a gas farm, but we never ended up getting to it. Well, this was one of my farms, but Ninjago ended up converting it for his own needs. Like, this was originally, I believe it was originally like a dual. It was 2 spawners, and I think my original purpose or intent was I wanted to use it for slimes, but I couldn't figure out how to get that to work. And I think for a little while I used it for a gold farm, but Nin ended up using it for his head collecting, it looks like. Yeah. I don't remember why I have this home, but I think one time I may have had a bit of an impulse where I wanted to build a guardian farm, but I never ended up starting the project. This was a guardian farm that I was attempting to build when I was in the 4th base, but I never ended up finishing it. So, I have no idea why I have this area, but let's just delete it. From what I remember, Alyssa also made this, or she may have, but of course, again, too many hoppers probably, but from, of course, from what I can tell, no one ever. Of course, I guess it's not in use, and it's kind of an abandoned farm for right now. And yeah, no, of course it was made public, but from what I can tell, it's not in use now. This is I'm not sure really how that player's name typically goes, but from what I can tell, he's also really into the farms, and as you can see, he's made an iron farm, and I mean, it would be a great farm if it wasn't for the limitations of Autcraft, but yeah, and he's got all kinds of other farms here. I mean, by this point, I'm seriously considering making a Let's Play where I build farms in single player, because even ACO is getting to the point where it's starting to get crowded, and A lot of players like me who build farms are now suffering because of that. This was There's actually someone that built the Iron Phoenix, which actually me and Colga and Aquina attempted to build at one point on ACO, but we could never get it working. And I mean, we tried, but we never managed to get the farm working. And of course, this farm no longer works because it's used the old villager mechanics, and it no longer works. And as of 1.13, and AC is in 1.15 now. This, so a lot of you probably remember, is I covered it in my series. This was my giant iron farm that was shut down by the admins because it was too big. First, I remember talking to this player as well. He's very much into the large base building like me, and he's also an avid redstone enthusiast as well. In fact, I remember him building like a big redstone calculator and even a redstone computer. And yeah, maybe I might be able to find his calculator. I think we're coming to it now. Yeah. Like, from what I remember, I attempted to build one of these in single player one time, but of course the one that I was attempting to build was just really big and just kind of got really complicated, and I almost finished it, but it just kind of really became a big project to work on, and that was before I learned how to use World Edit. So I wasn't even using World Edit then. So yeah. Well, possibly soon. I might even do a series just about doing these big and redstone projects that are like probably too complicated for a survival world, but just for the sake of like a world where you do everything using redstone and automation. So it's kind of in the works for a series as soon as I get the time to do it. This was actually a base from this was just Blue 333 and Riley back when they both were on AC. And I remember The day when ACO was still just a quaint just a quaint little survival server, when just literally it was me, Blue, and TK and BB came on, and Riley was still on AC because she was too young to join ACO. And then she came on, and then a little bit later on, Telly joined, potentially because of my YouTube, and ACO just kind of grew from there. This actually was one of Cosmolot's farms. And as you can see, someone's probably using it right now. Or I don't know what they're doing in there. And pretty from what I can see here, this was just kind of where he had a lot of different spawners. And like this might have been like bamboo farms. From this what went into at least from what I can tell, that this kind of went from all kinds of different places. And yeah. I don't really have that much else to say about this area, so let's move on. A lot of you may remember this if you've watched my wither skeleton farm that almost ended my Autcraft career. This was actually Cosmolot's take on a wither skeleton farm. And yeah. This is actually a shulker farm, which is still in use today, and in fact is where me and Modkiller got a lot of our shulker shells so we could make that system at our Vindicator farm to store all the emeralds in. So basically we can get mass storage without going over the 50 hopper limits. This is, from what I can tell, is a pretty well-known farm on the server. It's, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and There's probably there's actually a 6 spawner up in there, but I can't quite see it. And at least from what I can tell, this is still an emerald farm. And it's open to the public. And this was a auto smelter that Cosmolot made that he intended for public use, but I don't know if it's still in use right now. It's kind of an interesting design. He attempted to make the biggest smelter you can make without going over the 50 hopper limit, and he kind of actually did a pretty decent job, I'd say. This was actually, like from what I can remember, one day I literally had a conversation with Snow White, and I was like, well, Colgutton's birthday's coming up, and he goes, well, why not we make a birthday wall for him? And this is what we did. And first I'll pause, so you can pause the video here or read the messages if you want. Really not much to it. I just built this like in an ice biome because Colgutton actually lives up in the Arctic, and I just kind of thought it would be kind of fitting for him to kind of build this here. Of course, a lot of people left gifts for him, but he didn't claim them. And by the way, he's in Norway. That's why that flag is there. Some of my long-term viewers might remember this, but this was a fireworks display, and and I think I actually may have showed it off in one of my recent videos, and it was the one about the mob farm and the fireworks stuff. And so kind of my goal with this is I wanted to make a fireworks display for the 4th of July, even though Autism Father already was hosting them at Spawn. But here's I kind of wanted to, as I wanted another excuse to be able to build something cool with redstone. This is just kind of what I did. So I already technically showed this off in one of my other videos, so we don't need to go in much detail here. These next few builds were from another player I got to talk to on Autcraft. Of course, and let's say Wolf, or probably butchered that pronunciation, but anyway, I didn't really get to know him that well, but literally all I know about him is he's in Denmark, and he kind of he sort of was into farms, and also I did see his YouTube channel, and he was also into gaming as well. And I mean, if you're watching my video, if you're watching my video, welcome to. I don't even know what I'm saying, but if you know, just gonna shout out to you if you're watching the video. This was kind of a build of his that he was working on. As like the concept of it is just like it's supposed to be like a kind of prop for Halloween, and it has a lot of different like note blocks to kind of sound spooky. And I guess kind of the idea is you'd walk through here and you get to hear all these different sound effects. I suppose it would look even cooler with shaders on. But he kind of didn't end up finishing it. But this is probably another farm that he was working on, but I'm not really sure what happened. Like, I don't know if it's got blocked off or... Well, I'm gonna put that back, but yeah, you know. I'm just gonna delete this, I think.